What's up, everybody? Don't mind me looking like a weirdo on the corner of your screen, as I am just engaging in some gameplay. Clearly very tired right there. What's going on, everybody? It's Diablo 3 Season 22. I'm Evil Spectrum 3. Of course, been playing Diablo since 2012, the day it came out. Or Diablo 3, that is. I played the previous Diablos as well back in the day. So let's go right into this season, man. We got, first of all, crashing. That's the first. I just wanted to get it out of the way real quick. This is week 1 so far of the season, and I thought we'd just kind of recap some things. First of all, one of the biggest issues at the moment, negatives. Let's talk about that first. It's just real quickly. We're gonna just dive into it real quickly. Is of course the crashing. We've seen this. Here's a little clip of SVR actually crashing from earlier. Let's see if we can pull it off here. There he is, crashing away.
I'm so happy that this continues day after day after day after day. Boom.
So there's SVR on Twitch. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I watch a lot of people. I always do, just to keep me entertained while I'm doing stuff. And of course, I stream as well. Been doing that since day 1 also. But, you know, these crashes just are unbelievable. That's not a crash you're seeing right now on your screen. That's just literally me freezing the screen up here, messing up things. But SVR did crash there, and I just haven't happened to catch one of my crashes yet, but there have been a few of them, but not too bad. So far this season, I've only crashed 3 times. There's also some kind of, I don't know, direct, video card or issue when you start up Diablo now, and you get hit OK, and then it just bypasses that and opens the game up anyway. Don't know what that's about. So those are the 2 weirdest things that I've noticed this season. And, other than that, I don't think that there's really been too much else, glitchy stuff, maybe a little bit in-game stuff, but, nothing that I've really noticed to be too upset about. And obviously, right now I'm showing you guys video that right now XSplit just can't handle. I'm showing you such high frame rate that my program doesn't want to handle it. But anyway, leveling this season for me so far has been crazy. It was pretty quick early on in the season, but about normal for me. A lot of other people seem to be reporting that it was faster for them to level to 70. I had a little bit longer time because of just stuff going on in my house, and I had to keep breaking, so I can't really give you an accurate on that. But what I can say is the level to 500 Paragon was very quick. It was one of the fastest seasons ever to 500 Paragon. Then I hit a wall around 550 to about 700 where I couldn't find any Ancients. So that stuck me up a little bit there. So it was like the beginning of the season took a little while, and then we just cruised. It was amazing how fast I was able to get to Paragon 500. Part of that was really the clones. They really just helped so much with that initial leveling speed, and I think that that's going to be something that really helps new players or players who are just at the beginning of understanding the leveling progression, or perhaps not even into the meta really, but just some of the people that usually go, oh my god, I can't believe I made it to 500 Paragon. Somebody who would say that probably is having really a lot of fun this season, because they're probably going to go higher than they've ever gone before. That's my guess based on the clones, if they're using the pylons the right way, I guess. Or even just a little bit, I would think. And I know that that's happened other seasons with some of the boost that goes on. So that's my opinion. I have no idea about data for that. I haven't talked to people about that. I'm assuming that once again, and I would say that kind of about the last 3 or 4 seasons, really, especially the last 3, I think. Going back to season 19 or so, these seasons have really been for people that play every season and they only make it to Paragon 300, 500, 700, 800. Those people are probably really excited because they're probably going to reach 1,000 or more this season if they're sort of, I don't know what you would consider a casual, but I consider anybody who goes above 500 Paragon, to be a little more than a casual. But there are a lot of people that just hit their 1,000 Paragon, and that's about it. I'm not too far from that. I make it to about somewhere between 1,300 to 1,700 now every season. So wasn't that long back that I was in that category of made it to 500, 700. Okay, I'm done. And now I've got goals of always making it higher. But I'm mostly a solo player, and I don't ever really play the 4-man meta. I'd like to. I just don't have the groups, and I don't have the. I just really am lazy or something. I don't want to sometimes group up, and it's rare that I want to. But every once in a while at night, I'm like, I wish I had a group we could just run, and I just don't feel like putting the effort in, so I just go back to solo. But I enjoy watching other people do it, talk about it, and all that stuff. I think the shadow clones have been pretty interesting this season. I think it's been fun to activate the pylons. I think that the 4-slot cube has really. I look like I'm stoned in this video. I look like I'm. I can't get over what I look like. I don't know. I look cracked out, man. I really do. I look like Jim Brewer in like 1997 after like being backstage. But no, the four cube slot, as far as Demon Hunter, I forgot to state that at the beginning. Of course, I'm playing God DH. I'm a DH every season, and then eventually I move to an alt. I level up some alts, and I then eventually switch to hardcore for the fun of it at the end of the season, just to entertain myself a bit. So that's pretty much been my pattern now the last 3 seasons. But yeah, God DH, and why does this look so slow though on my screen? I don't know what I'm doing here, but the bottom line is I'm playing God DH, and certainly this is. I think I'm pushing here. It's been fun to be able to switch different things in the cube and out of the cube. It's been fun to sort of play with like a super speed God DH just for the fun of it, just to blast through. It's also been fun to take the God DH and throw together some like mega speed. You know what I mean? Throw like Warzekian arm guards into the damn slot, into the cube. Throw maybe Echoing Fury in there. And, just max out speed, and then just go goblin farming because I'm still looking for cosmic wings. So it's made goblin farming fun. What am I doing? I look like I saw a ghost when I died there. I look like I must have flipped out here. And it's just, it's been really cool to be able to mess around with like a super speed on the God DH, just max out that speed and also be able to go, 10 or 15 greater rifts higher on the speed God DH. And I've even played around with, I've even used Unity again. It makes no sense, but I've used Unity to help me do like speed 95s. We're doing 95s now in 2 minutes. It's crazy, but I've only done 110 rifts, so I've only completed a 110 rift solo so far. At Paragon, whatever I am, 860. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. It's like Paragon 860. And I think the combination of the cube slots and the shadow clones has been great. I think if you only had one of those things, I don't think it would have been as good. And I think it would have been a letdown. If you just had shadow clones, I think it would have been quite a letdown. If you just had the cube, that would have been all right. But, it really is the combination of shadow clones and the cube. And I really do hope that they add more this season like they've been doing, with whatever it is, double goblins, double XP. Wow, I look like a tool bag in this picture. I love this picture because I look like a tool bag. But it's been fun, man. I like the combination, but as far as what can they do to make it better, I think that they could add double goblins one week, I think they should add everything if they can this season. Last season was such a grind, man. It'd be nice if they added double goblins and then they added double shards at some point too. I think that would be really fun at the end of the season. Or not the end of the season, but towards the middle. Maybe, what is it, November 28th? So maybe right before Christmas. Why not as a Christmas present, right? Christmas Eve, Diablo announces, hey, everybody, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate that thing, here's double goblins and double bounties. Wow. You know what I mean? I think that would be kind of cool. And they've clearly thought it was pretty cool themselves because they started doing it a while back. They actually did it because of COVID. I don't think we would have... I'm not so sure we would have gotten these things without COVID. It really came down to when everyone was at home and whatever. It really... Because that's when they did it, the first month of COVID and the lockdowns and stuff. So it definitely felt like they were just trying to... I don't know, create some positivity around... I mean, I really felt like just a... Like, let's try to make people a little happy or something. Like, let's do something. And that's what it felt like. And I think that's really cool of them. And I hope that's something that they have been continuing to do, and I hope they continue to do it. What could be added to make it more spicy? You know, that's about it at that point, I suppose. This season, I don't know what else they could really do. Now, what I do kind of wish they would do is something to the effect of flavor of time, right? Let's say we're into January and we're still in the season, right? And ideally, I'd like the season to end late January. But realistically, it probably won't end until late February. But what I would like to see is at some point down the road, maybe they announce, okay, everybody, we're having a... Well, I think it'd be cool if they did something like this, but I don't know how it would work for leaderboards and things like that, where they said, hey, everybody, this weekend, Flavor of Time weekend, you know, Flavor of Time is activated for everybody. So basically, you would get the Flavor of Time, and then you still have the 4 cube slots. Imagine what you could do with that. And I think it'd be cool if they did something like that for the weekend. You know what I mean? For a weekend. Kind of like because you can't really do, you know, they don't really do XP bonuses anymore because the bots and the other things like that just encourages that type of stuff. But it'd be cool if they said, hey, this weekend Flavor of Time is a community event, you know, and you could really just kind of like, oh my god, like, you know, if you have Flavor of Time in the cube, you know, you're taking it out, and you know, and if you weren't using it, you get it anyway. And I think that's something that's kind of fun that could be added too, and they could do that maybe every weekend as well. Like, but it'd have to be like, you know, it would have to be something that everybody took advantage of, you know what I mean? And I don't know how that would work. Like, as a demon hunter, you know, you think Wraps of Clarity or something like that, you know? But, I mean, how would that help every other class, you know? Or maybe it would be every class has one item that's active, you know? But that'd be so different among all the classes that I don't know if they could do something like that. But, you know, there's other things that they could do, too. You know, and I'm not sure what exactly they are, but I'm not sure how far they could go. I think another thing that would be exciting in a season would be potentially, you know, maybe double sockets or something like that, or every socket. I don't know what the code of the game is, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were like, oh, you can socket boots, you can socket everything. Like, all of a sudden, everything has a socket. And you can put legendary gems in everything. You know, like something crazy. You know, Season of Chaos. I don't know if they would do something like that. Or they could mix up the legendary, you know, bonuses and stuff like that. And you don't know what's going to roll. Anything can roll in anything, anywhere, anytime. Like, it's all a mess. It's all a jumble, and it's all random. I don't know how much of the coding, you know, would have to be messed with to do that. And, you know, if that's the case, I don't know what the logistics of that is. And I also then the items, you don't want them rolling over into the regular game, right? Into your main character. So, you know, and I'm assuming that would, and it would be fun too if you got rid of sets. If you got rid of sets for a season, you get rid of sets and you have, you know, just all ancients and regular legendaries, and probably everything is Legacy of Dreams at that point. And, you know, I'm not sure we're getting out of the craziness at this point, but I also really like the idea, and so doesn't everybody, of mini seasons, you know? I think mini seasons would be really fun, but, you know, the turnaround obviously on that would be crazy then. But I almost think what I'd like to see is a third. Do you know how there's there's adventure mode. We all just play adventure mode, obviously, right? There's campaign, there's adventure mode, there's challenge rift. I think it'd be nice, but I don't know again if this is too much coding, too much work, too much server stress. I don't know if they could possibly create mini seasons and make that available. And I think it'd be nice if mini seasons took place every week or every 2 weeks, right? So you have your main season and mini season, and I think mini seasons would be cool if they basically put every season they ever did and ever will do, right? So even going forward on future seasons, every season they ever did and every season they ever will do, and they put it on a rotation, a random rotation, just like challenge rifts almost. Maybe they could set the code so it won't duplicate, every week or whatever. Like once one gets used, it won't get used again for at least 10, whatever. And the season lasts for a week, and maybe and I guess what the XP would carry over, I suppose, would the items carry over? I don't know. To your main character. Maybe in mini seasons the items wouldn't carry over to your main character. I don't know. I mean, that would be a bummer if you got a cool, primal. And I suppose there'd be less chance that you would get as many primals anyway, so maybe they should definitely carry over. But I think that'd be fun to be playing the regular season, the new regular season, and then to be playing the mini season. And of course, in the mini season, there's no like wings, there's no pets, there's no reward things, there's none of that stuff. It's just literally to compete weekly on the leaderboard. But the problem with that, the downside to that, because everybody talks about this, but yeah, the downside to that would be, I suppose, that are you then, delegitimizing the regular season? And the only other thing I can think to change that would be to say in mini seasons, if you did mini seasons, you could do, I suppose, like a different, like a sort of a penalty in mini seasons, like, if you die, you lose half of your paragon or half of your level. So no matter what, if you die at level 30, you go back to level 1. If you die at level 60, you go back to level 30. If you die at level Paragon 200, you go back to Paragon 100. If you die at Paragon 1000, you go down to Paragon 500. If you die at 2000, you go down to 1000. Something like that could be exciting. Like you can only the Paragon caps out at 2500. A death, you lose half of your life, of your level, no matter what. I think that could be exciting, and I don't know, and I think it would be exciting because you'd be working on your regular season, you'd be working on your regular seasonal, and you'd be grinding it, but when you hit that wall and you're like, oh man, I'm really grinding now, you'd be excited to jump on the mini seasons and see what you could do over there, I suppose. I don't know. I think it would almost act like a secondary thing to do. So I guess it's up to you guys and to other people to decide if what I'm saying is really stupid or if what I'm saying would be fun, or potentially if it was just a weekend thing, not even a week. It was only 2 days. It was only Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or maybe they could even do it multiple times a month, but it's only a day. It's only 24 hours. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It would be very weird, and I don't know if that would take away from the regular season. But I think that it's important. I would like to see them do the regular seasons like they're doing right now. Like you have 4 slots in the cube, and there's shadow clones. But in the mini seasons, I wouldn't want to see both of those things, because that way you could keep seasons more important. seasons would still have, 1, 2, or 3 exciting themes to them, whereas mini seasons would have, I would say, one thing, whatever the one thing is, and maybe even do something different that's minor, like triple goblins. Can you even do triple goblins? I don't know. So it'd be cool if there was triple goblins and one of the seasonal themes. Or maybe make it, I don't know. But I have all these crazy ideas of things they could do, like the idea of a gem dropping. So this is my last thing to talk about of a seasonal theme. But so before I get to that, let me just say again, season 22, guys, I'm having a blast. I'm having a lot of fun. Paragon 860. It's been 1 week. I've got 3 kids. I've got my work that I do here. Plus, I've been working on my house. I'm taking care of my kids. I'm doing my YouTube work, my job, and other things. And so, I do have a little more time than I think most people might have. Because of my working from home, but so far I like the season. I've cleared a 110 rift with a God DH solo. Mostly, I've only done a couple runs with people this season. Mostly solo. I'd say 98% of the season I've been solo. I found a Primal Dawn last season. I don't have one this season. I have not, but it's been okay. That being said, I'm having fun so far in the season, but I am worried that we're going to crash and burn early this season. I feel like what I'm starting to notice is that I am burning out quicker every season, because I used to play the seasons very casually, right? Like, so I used to play the seasons very casual. Like, I'd be like, okay, I'm playing... Not a big deal. I hit 300 Paragon. All right, whatever. I'm done. But since season 17, I really started playing very, like trying to make the leaderboards, because I'd never made the leaderboards before. And basically, I've noticed this the last season and even the season before, but mostly last season. And now this season, and I know that I noticed it last season or the season before, because I started playing hardcore for the first time ever. We're talking about since 2012. I never played hardcore. I always said, that's stupid. I would never do that. Well, I've become so bored, I'm playing hardcore. So, kind of funny. But I really am starting to wonder. And listen, the game, if they never do any of this stuff we're talking about, of course I wouldn't be surprised. The game is in maintenance mode or classic mode, whatever you want to say. And so we're lucky if we get, I'm still shocked that we get what we get. So, but I'm greedy, and I'm going to talk about, well, what if? Why not? Why not try some things? Why couldn't we do it? And what would it take to do it? I don't know. But my idea for the next season would be super gems. Okay, so super gems drop, and they drop with a legendary affix in them, right? So like Squirt's necklace and all those orange legendary things that drop inside the legendaries. I don't know how hard that would be to code or to put in the game. So that may be something that we can't see. But I mean, if they can create things like shadow clones, I would think they could do something like that. But again, I don't know the logistics of that. So, what are you going to do? But let's assume they can do it. A super gem would drop at the rate of, I would say, probably like between an ancient and a primal drop rate, right? So more frequent than a primal, but less frequent than a than an ancient, So I would say like every 100 legendaries, or every 100 legendaries or so, one of these gems drop. Super gems. And they all have a legendary affix, or potentially a passive for your character, or a passive. So maybe they drop with a passive and it's random. It can be any passive. So you might get a passive for a barb, and you're like, ah, damn it, I got a passive for a barb. But the legendary affix is like, you know, Squirt's necklace, you know, so you're like, oh, cool. You know, I'm going to get that damage boost, but also, you know, take a hit. You know, I like that. You know, and maybe you're like, all right, but I'm not going to use this on my, I'm going to make a barb now because I found this. And my other idea though is that when you socket, you can now you can socket these into every piece of equipment you have. So theoretically, you could have one of these gems on every single item slot on your tune, right? Which you might say that's crazy, and I agree. But the catch is that the minute you slot it in, it permanently binds, so you can't take it out and bring it somewhere else. And on top of that, it only lasts 30 minutes. So you can use it for 30 minutes. You have that affix. So the idea of this is that you're always juggling these things that are dropping. You know, you're finding them at the rate of maybe ancients, right? So if you do one run on a level 70 rift, right? You might find one ancient. You might find 3 or 4 ancients, right? So you do one run, boom, you got 2. You know, you do another run, you got 2 more. And you're slotting them into your equipment, but they're all counting down from 30 minutes. Or maybe cut that in half, maybe call it 15 minutes. Maybe call it 5 minutes, whatever. So you're always kind of, you know, going crazy trying to, you know what I mean? You're playing the game trying to utilize especially if you start getting good ones or you get more good ones. You're like, oh my God, I got to stay on and I got to keep going because they're so crazy. I mean, you would become so hooked on the game at that point. And you'd be like, oh my God, I mean, it might actually be a problem. You don't want to get off because you were going to get off, but now you found, you know, this crazy legendary, you know, affix or boost, and you're like, oh man, I can't get off now. Or it would be a shame when you do have to get off, and you're like, oh, I just wasted them all, you know. Or maybe they save the time. So if you log off, and one of the gems has 2 minutes left, the other one whatever. But the idea of being able to slot these into every single item you have, and them all being on timers, and the timer, you know, remembering your time, I don't know the logistics of that. It sounds like it might be too complicated to do for a game that's in classic mode. You know, obviously if this was Diablo 4, that would be something that they could do for a season or for whatever. But certainly the logistics of this may be crazy. Or maybe not. Maybe that's easier to do than shadow clones. But I don't know with the servers and everything what type of damage that would be done, or what, you know, mathematically and code-wise could be achieved with what I'm saying. You know, having shadow clones spawn into the game and do damage with doing stuff that's already in the game is got to be probably easier to reflect and code your character's duplicate in the game showing up, you know what I mean, than timing legendary affixes or legendary powers from random items, having them in, you know, what I'm saying, I think, is just not, probably maybe not possible, you know. But some variation or simpler variation of that would be nice. Let's say if you couldn't do that, maybe you could do, when the gems drop, you can put them into the Kanias cube, and when you put them in the cube, it opens up a slot. So you could potentially have 8 slots, and the slots only last for 5 to 10 minutes each. So when you find this rarer than a ancient but less rarer than a primal, it unlocks another slot in the cube, and then you can use that stuff. You know, I don't know. You know, maybe that would be what would be cool. And it'd be super exciting if you found like 4 of them, because then you could be slotting them up. Or you could even save them if you wanted. So you could actually save them. When you find them, you could be like, I'm not gonna put them in the slot until I find 4 of them, because the max, say the max is 4 at a time or 8 at a time. So, okay, I've got 8. Now I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. And now I'm going to push. But maybe you're just coming along in the beginning of the season and you don't want to wait. So you found one, so you slot it immediately to help you out. And then maybe you find another one, you slot again. Now you have 6 spots. So maybe that would be more applicable because that's within sort of in the code that's there, to add these slots and to do those things. Maybe. I don't know. Those are my ideas for a potential season that could be a little crazy. And maybe on top of that, there's triple goblins. I don't know, man. I hope you guys had fun with this weird discussion of mine. What do you think of these things that I've come up with in this video? There's probably a million more things I could think of or come up with, but that's just for right now. So far, season 22, I'm enjoying it right now. I'm having fun, like many seasons, last few seasons I have. And I hope that we get some double bounties and double goblins. I'm not a big bounty guy, so double bounties doesn't do a lot for me. I hate re-rolling stuff. I just don't like doing it. I'm sure for the people that are super nerdy about it, they're going to love it because they're super into doing it. I'm not, but I wouldn't mind it, and I'd like it if it was on top of double goblins because I still do farm goblins for fun. And I still, in the back of my mind, farm goblins for, hey, you know what? Rainbow goblin drops. I love those cosmic wings, and I've been farming. I farmed cosmic wings for years and never got them. And so, I still do it, but nowhere near the intensity that I used to do it. But it's still a fun side gig to do. And I think Diablo 3 could really use some more side gigs and things to do in the game that could be essentially fun. I'd also love to see them add a few other things into the game like cosmic wings. Maybe not as hard to find as cosmic wings, but close. I don't know what the rarity of cosmic wings is. I forget it all the time. It really feels like 1 in 1,000. But, potentially maybe add some more 1 in 400s and take a few of the wings that have been out there before or new wings and design them and throw them throughout the game in different places, and maybe you could sort of say, hey, everybody, we put some new treasure in Diablo 3, and here's what's new, and there's 2 or 3 wings sets that are really cool, like cosmic wings, but maybe not as hard to find as cosmic wings, but very close, right? Like, if cosmic wings is 1 in 1,000, of finding them on the rainbow level, maybe make these things 1 in 300, right? And I think that would be exciting. Maybe a couple rare portrait frames, maybe a couple rare cosmic, or a couple rare types of wings, and a couple rare things, and put them in the game. I don't know. That may be asking, this all may be asking way too much of a team that has to bust their ass just to, maintain what we're doing now and get these seasons out to us. And I'm asking of all these goofy side extras. And if that sounds crazy, I do apologize, but I just simply love the game, and just like I love Diablo 2. You never want to let go of Diablo 2. I never wanted to. And I remember when Diablo 3 first launched and it was slowing down after the auction house went away and everybody started leaving it, and things weren't going so well with it. I remember going back to playing Diablo 2 and playing a bunch of Diablo 2 and then still coming back to Diablo 3, but, still kind of diving into Diablo 2 thinking, wow, this is so much more complete. But now I just love Diablo 3 so much. I barely go back to Diablo 2, even though, I'll always at some point go back and play Diablo 2, and immerse myself in that game. I just, obviously that is the best game ever. But, Diablo 3 right now is what I am enjoying the most at this time, which, there was a time where you thought you'd never say that. And to me, it's amazing that I've really fallen in love with this game that isn't quite like the game that I was in love with. And I feel like I wanted Diablo 3 to be Diablo 2 so bad. But now I'm happy that I have both. I'm happy that I have this Diablo 3 game that is all about this end game sort of seasonal rush of leaderboard and whatever every season. But I'm also happy I can still go back and play the real game that made ARPGs what they are and made, got us into this genre in the first place, really. And the gear it's just such a different game, but they're similar but so different, and I like both. And I'm wondering if even Diablo Immortal, when it comes out, I'm going to like that, because I'll be like, you know what? When I get bored of, or when I get tired of sitting at the computer and I got to go lay down, Diablo Immortal is fun to throw on my phone and play for a few minutes before I go to sleep. And maybe I'll fall in love with that. And I'll say, wow, man, I actually, it doesn't matter what kind of Diablo it is. I like them all, you know? I wonder if that will be the case. Maybe I'll hate Immortal. I don't know. So, you know. But yeah, man, that's it. How are you guys doing? Let me know how your season's going, what you're doing, what your build. Necro, obviously, Bone Spear, Necro, I'm going to get into that as my ult. And I'm going to keep running my God DH, let you know what's up. You guys want to watch me stream? Most of the time I'm streaming here, but actually most of the time I'm streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Joe Cronin JCS. My name on Twitch is Joe Cronin JCS. It may change to Evil Spectrum 3 soon. This is Evil Spectrum 3. Hit the like, leave a comment. Let me know how your season's going so far, and I'll be back with another update and another podcast about this season. Probably midweek or at the end of the week. I don't know which one yet. We'll see how it goes. Thanks, guys, for listening to this entire thing. If you made it this far, right? GG's 69 in the chat, because I'm like 5. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Evil Spectrum 3. And I hope you guys subscribe if you're new.